This morning we're talking about SOS. But you won't need your shagging shoes or your life preserver. Meet Dr. Bill Davis coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Johnny Rockets at Broadway at the Beach. We're focused on SOS Healthcare, and we're visiting with its founder and director, Dr. Bill Davis. Good morning, Dr. Davis.
Good morning, Greg.
What about these seats here at Johnny Rockets?
Great place.
Pretty comfortable.
Takes me back.
Early on a Friday morning. That's right. You said that before we started up here to have that setting here.
Back to my teenage years. I was in a place like this on Friday nights if I could get a date.
Was that tough in high school?
Yes, it was.
Oh, come on now.
Yes, it was.
I think I saw in reading a little about yourself that you've been married to the same woman since, is it 1962?
Yeah, it's the 44th year this year.
Is that right? So you got a date and just stuck with it.
Right. 45th.
45. That's right. You got to be careful. Yeah.
I gotta remember that.
On camera. Get that right.
Yeah, I couldn't have done anything I have done without my dear wife, Elaine. Been behind me all the time. Not pushing me so much, but hanging on, maybe.
That's a great thing. We hear folks say that often, and I know my dad says the same thing. He couldn't have done half of what he done without his, or what he has done without his wife.
When you're out in the world doing stuff, somebody's got to take care of the base camp. And she does that, and she comes in whenever I need her. Right now, she's quitting her favorite coffee to try our new coffee that we're selling through one of our programs. So she does what she can. And our home is full of dogs. And that is part of our SOS work now, too. Dogs for Autism. And she's turning over home to it. And she's spending 24/7 raising puppies.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So you see, it goes on and on.
I think I saw in your quarterly or semi-annual newsletter, maybe that's a monthly newsletter, the piece about the dogs for autistic, not only for autistic children, but for adults as well, or principally just autistic children?
Mostly children, but some adults, yes. We've got a 19-year-old now getting ready to hope to get a dog. The problem is there are no dogs trained and available, and so we're addressing that issue, and we're breeding dogs for autism, and we're training dogs for autism right now, because there are just tremendous numbers of people with autism now. It's an epidemic, 1 in 150 births, number one birth defect in the world now. 10 years ago, 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 150. It's an epidemic, and we've got to provide the services. And one of the things that needs a dog, and it takes 2 years to get a dog ready to be placed. So it's a 2-year effort, and we've got 10 people in Horry County wanting dogs right now. There's no hope for them until we get stuff going. The dogs are a partner and a playmate and a special friend for these kids who are alone. Socially, they're isolated from the world, and the dog makes a difference in a lot of cases. Not always, but a lot of cases. Assistant dog, just like for the blind, we've got dogs for autism. Just started a few years back.
I don't think I understood the extent of the epidemic there with autism. Sarah Pope, is one of the co-founders with many families here locally of the Autism Advocate Foundation, was with us last Tuesday. And we were filming down at South Carolina Bank and Trust, and another amazing recent foundation. They just got founded, I believe, just last year.
4 mothers with children with autism founded this organization, and it is the most vital organization I have seen lately in this country. These women are go-getters, and they're doing good stuff.
Wow.
And SOS is joining them. We'll come along, just like I say, my wife is behind me hanging on. Well, I'm kind of hanging on to those ladies from AAF right now. They're really, truly.
I was so fascinated to see in the founding of SOS back in '89 that at least 4, if not more, nonprofits have spun off from y'all's founding in '89. Care Team, one of them.
Exactly.
Of course, the Shared Care, the Senior Peer Counseling, and the Children's Center Cedar Branch. An incredible testament to you. Now, was that a testament to your vision back then? Did you imagine ever that you would help jumpstart those nonprofits?
They all came in different ways. The one with Care Team was that we went to McLeod Regional Hospital, and they said, we've got to get HIV care for 9 counties. McLeod Hospital said, no, we can't do it. It's only 5% from the government goes to run the operation. We can't afford that. And they looked at us and me and half-time secretary. We started the 9-county HIV program because there was no one else to do it. So that's the way that happened. And the money came to clinics and to help, and it's still going on through Care Team today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
and they started in a different way. Shared Care started with Doug Wendell calling me and saying, "What happens if you die to help folks who are sick?" So I don't know. He said, "Well, we're going to work on something." So he got people to the table, and Shared Care is now the program.
Shared Care is a tremendous group.
Shared
Absolutely.
Care is absolutely phenomenal and doing so much more than we could as SOS, getting federal, state monies, and getting Duke Endowment money and lots of resources that we couldn't get as an individual entity. But we have everybody involved in the medical delivery to the poor on our board. The CEOs of all the hospitals and of the college and of the school district, everybody. We have all those folks. Transportation, everybody's on board with us, the community health center. So we then, with that coalition, can draw in money to make it happen. And we're serving more than 3,000 people right now.
Is that right?
Right.
Are you? Have you stayed on in some fashion? You stayed
I'm
on as a board
executive
member
committee
for the different groups?
on
Right.
each of them.
Right.
I'm no longer on Care Team. I did that for 3 years.
Right.
They don't need me anymore at all. But Shared Care, I don't know if they need me or not, but I'm still there for 5 years now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm on the other boards just to keep the continuity going, and also maybe sometime to give them a little lift and support.
Sure,
Different things they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
nice
what-
not to have to do it all.
Sure. No, that's right. I mean, to think about what you all have done over the last, if a viewer needed to get off to school right now or off to work, obviously a lot of folks are running out the door. What's the best number? If someone wanted to learn, and I know we're going to talk more about AAF and much of what y'all kicked off earlier this week, but what's a good number for someone to learn more about SOS Healthcare?
449-0554.
Okay.
That's the best number. That's the number I answer when I'm there. Right now, I'm not there this Friday.
Right. Absolutely.
Most times I am. I'll answer.
And y'all have a great looking website, the sos-healthcare.com.
All donated to us.
Is that right?
Yes. And we're hoping to upgrade it because that's an important issue today when we're serving on the dogs parts for Carolinas. Folks can contact us by web. Our newsletter, which goes out to a lot of local folks, is not the way to go for 2 states. So we're now involved in 2 states with our dogs for autism.
Golly, well, we sure want to talk more about that. But real quick about yourself, Dr. Davis. And do you normally go by Dr. Davis or you just simply Bill?
Well, folks still call me Dr. Davis, but I'd rather be Bill, just plain Bill.
Right.
I do very little today that has to do with my degree. I just really don't have time to see patients. I saw one this morning, but I don't more have any time.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, when we think about what brought you to the Myrtle Beach area, was there? Had you been thinking about Myrtle Beach for a long time? Did you grow up here in the area?
Elkin, North Carolina, where I grew on 4th of July, they closed down Chatham Blankets, and everybody who could afford it went to Myrtle Beach. That was the whole town just evacuated, all of us that could afford it. So I love Myrtle Beach. I was in Vietnam. I called out of my training, and I talked to a surgeon there, and I said, "You know anything about Myrtle Beach?" I said, "Yes, I know a person." So I wrote Home Springs. And Home Springs was doing all the urology here then, and I said, "Holmes, I'd like to come there." He said, "You come, we'll build you a room, and you can take it." He gave me his whole practice. As soon as I got finished training, I came to Myrtle Beach, and I love the place. It's been a great place to raise our family.
Oh yeah, sure.
And we did enjoy those nice winters, though, a few years ago when it got so quiet after Labor Day. Us locals,
Right.
But we know we gotta grow.
Got to give in.
When we came here, there were 3 houses that we had to choose from to buy on the whole Grand Strip.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding you. 1971, there were 3 houses. There were all the houses that were offered.
Wow.
One we couldn't afford. One was that they said, "You don't want to live there."
Yeah.
And one we had to build. I slept in my office till somebody builds a house in 3 months. We're still living in the same house.
No.
Patient that built it was a patient when I was in training. He said, "Oh, you were there?" I said, "Yeah." And he didn't know me. He said, "I'm going to build you a house. I'll second mortgage it." And he did everything right. Dick Gerald, a wonderful gentleman who's now gone.
Right.
Wonderful people here, all through, have helped put together what's we now call SOS Healthcare. I didn't do it by myself. Our mission statement is to to partner with our community.
You've had a tremendous cadre of volunteers over the years.
Doctors,
Sure.
pharmacists. One time, on one day, we trained 150 volunteers to sign up people for Medicaid in the schools. One day, we had 150 people sitting down. I was training them, and they went in a week and they signed up 1,500 people for Medicaid.
In one day?
In one day, we trained them, and they went in for 3 days.
Right.
And they were registering
Yeah.
at schools, and they trained 15. They enrolled 1,580 some people into Medicaid that were eligible but did not have it. So that's the max. One day we had 100 people up at Cedar Branch putting a building up, and you know that's really hard when you got a 1,200 square foot building to have.
Right, sure.
But they were spread everywhere, and you ought to see them. They wrote the building in one day. Was a roof on it. His roof started on it. The sides were up and roof on it, and it was an amazing thing to see. And then we had the Extreme Day of Caring, Maximum Makeover, something that United Way did.
Right.
And they came up there with 150
Oh, yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah. I remember
And what
reading
a
about that.
Beautiful thing they did for us.
All
Gift they
locals,
gave.
absolutely.
So I'm saying the community.
Right.
Don't. If I hadn't been in this community, if I'd been in Williamsburg County somewhere in a small town, I would not have had the resources. I would not have had Chapin Foundation,
Right.
Ocean View Foundation,
Right.
the United Way the way it is here. Those are our big three.
There are still groups, Duke and Downman and otherwise, that would have found you, or you would have found them. I mean,
Duke and
there's
Downman
still
finally found us when
Right.
they built that building about
Sure.
5 years ago.
Sure.
But it took
But
12 years.
Right.
And they might have, yes.
Yeah, but it's tough to know. I mean, it's tough to know.
I
if
feel
they-
so
you ever-
blessed to be
Right, sure.
part
sure.
of this community.
But you felt a calling at some point. I mean, you would have had a calling whether you're in Williamsburg or in Forsyth or up in Chatham or even down here. You would have had a similar calling to get something started.
My mother has probably started me on looking to share.
Is
with
that
folks.
right?
But
Yeah.
I was here one day and somebody said, "I want you to come to this house and see this old couple. They have no health care and see how they're living." And this person, Jerry Llewellyn is his name. He came and took me into this home, and I looked at it and saw they had no health care, nothing. He said, "We're starting a little clinic over here called Friendship Clinic. I wonder if you'd help us." And I started that. Then I found that wasn't enough because I was too tied up with my busy practice in
Right.
urology to do much. And so then I stayed on with Friendship House, and I'm still a supporter of them, but I started something to complement and complete what they were doing because
Right.
2 hours once a week or twice a week was not doing it for folks. And so that's the way I started. Another individual came to me and showed me a door, and I opened the door and went through. And maybe I've opened the door for a few people,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
And you attribute a little bit of that, though, to your mom.
Yeah.
From an
Little bit
early
from mom.
stage. Did you have brothers and sisters, Bill?
Yeah, I have a sister who lives in
Right.
Sumter.
Right.
I attribute it all to God. Mom showed me God too, but she also showed me you must share. You must share in this world. You know, I think the problem we have today so often is that people are not taught to give. They're not taught to give. I learned that in my church for a while, but so many people aren't. They just don't know how to give. And that's
so
a shame.
oftentimes-
They're in such a sad place because the giving, then you receive more than you could possibly ever give. And
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
peace. That's things people can't take away from
You can't, and
Nobody
oftentimes
can-
you can't quantify.
No.
Sure. Oftentimes you just can't quantify.
Just when you're
what you-
tired and you go to bed at night and you find that you're feel at peace with yourself,
Right, right.
and you can sleep a good night's sleep.
You know, Libby Faulkner was with us last
Oh,
Thursday.
dear
Bill,
Libby.
our sweet, sweet soul, and hearing her talk about the giving, I mean, the incredible joy she gets knowing that someone's been fed or had a roof over their head, even for one night. And it was great reading about SOS and seeing, for instance, for the Caring for Kids had changed. That you made an effort not to continue to support folks, but to help them get on their way, in a sense. In the same way, hearing Libby talk about just the
The
experience.
Cypress program they have when you come in there. There's nobody like Libby. There's nobody that needs more than that program, and they're getting it. It's a wonderful gift of a facility.
Oh, yeah.
And support from local churches and local folks, just like
Absolutely.
we have had. But
Right.
I say, go, girl. She is doing a wonderful job. We have a relationship. I admire her as much as anybody else that I've ever met.